welcome to episode 40 of the Yinzhers podcast. I'm your host, Samantha James, along with my co-hosts, Morgan Urtso and Jordan DeFigio.
I'm sorry.
I actually did it right this time.
You did a great job. If you're new to Yinzhers, let me just fill you in. Sam inevitably always mispronounces at least one of our names in an intro, which
maybe both.
Going to happen throughout the episode. I'm gonna royally F something up. Just know that.
Inevitably, like my favorite part of every episode that Sam hosts, and I loved that just now because like I could see the concentration on your face. You're like,
so much determination in that.
Yeah. I had to really, really focus on it. I don't know why. My brain was just like.
But you know what? You nailed it. Good job.
I'm just going to say Urtso from now on because it's just easy for my brain. Yeah. That's just what my brain's like, Urtso.
People know what you're talking about at this point. You're fine. Like they'll catch up.
I mean, at this point, are we not like Prince and Rihanna? We can just be Morgan and Jordan.
Yes. Are you guys not entertained?
I think so.
I think we've reached that level of notoriety.
Notoriety. We're on the same level. Oh my God. I feel honored.
We'll just have to know when I introduce us, shit's going down because I'm going to fuck it up at some point and just know
it's going to be a good episode. So. It's going to be a good one.
We'll find ourselves along the way.
We're going to catch up. Morgan, how was your week?
I feel like every time you ask or one of y'all asks how was the week, it's always like, you know what? I'm living, I'm alive, and that's great news considering how the week went. So yeah, living, alive. I am leaving my day job officially, and I got an offer at a new company. So I'm so excited about that, and I can't wait to start. So just like getting ready for that transitional period, which, it'll be interesting, but lots to look forward to. What about y'all, Jordan?
In keeping with the whole motif of this entire shit show of a year, it was not the best week for me, but it's all good. I too am getting ready to leave my day job and venture into a crazy unknown reality of trying to live the dream. So it's a little bit scary but exciting, and that's fun, and really looking forward to that. And my brother's getting married this week, so that is something super thrilling. I just feel like I can't shut up about that because it's one of the only good things that we've had so far this year. So it's like cannot wait. So
weddings are the best.
A mixed bag. Yeah. It'll be really good. Yeah.
That's gonna be great. I'm not getting a new job, but maybe I should be. And if you're my boss watching this, it's a joke. It's totally a joke.
If you're my boss, no, I'm not. Maybe I shouldn't. I'm the only one.
Just kidding. You owe me a raise in 2 months. Don't forget it. Okay. Now that we're moving on.
Good in mind.
Now we got the personal stuff out of the way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now we get to talk about the big stuff, which we finally have some stuff to talk about.
It felt like the longest.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know, but the Steelers had a draft. They drafted some players.
Breaking news. The draft.
Look at them go. Finally, the mock drafts are over. Really, that's the announcement that's being made right now. Mock drafts for 2022 done. I'm sure that people have already started for next year, and those people need to be institutionalized. Yeah. I'm so sorry. I'm sure you're great and wonderful and lovely to converse with, but stop. Take a breath. Live in the moment.
Go touch grass. Listen.
Yes.
The way too early 2023 mock drafts can go burn in hell. Like, I'm over it. I'm done. I saw several human beings on Twitter this pre-draft season who would post like 10 different mocks a day. And I'm like, are you just doing this so that when the Steelers inevitably draft one of the dudes that you listed in these 20, 30 mock drafts a week, you can be like, quote tweet here, I called it. And we can be like, that's 0.1% of the drafts that you posted on social media.
Yeah, because nobody's mock draft looked like this.
No,
nobody's. They never do, and that's the thing. They drive me nuts. Stop. Like, they're okay. I have too many opinions, but I'm glad that at least
start with round one. Like,
yes,
floored. I was floored.
Couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. And I think I was the only one out of the three of us that was like,
I don't think I could have emotions because, like, I was not expecting Kenny Pickett. Like, I don't know why. I mean, he's obviously been a name of interest, but it seemed like there was so much more interest in Malik Willis towards, like, the last few weeks. Like, and then it's kind of like the whole time I was like, are they messing with us? Because they never really usually make it that obvious that they want a player in a position, especially. So I was like, Lord.
I will say, like, I thought that if both Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis were there, I thought that they would pick one of them. I don't know which one I thought they would pick, but I didn't think that they both would be there. So I felt like they wouldn't have their choice. It would be one or the other. Right. The fact that they both were there, you know, that was shocking to me. And I think that it made it harder to, like, digest the information that was, like, the pick. Because it's like, okay, they took Kenny Pickett and they had their choice. Like, they selected him. He was the first quarterback off the board for the first several rounds. Like, that was crazy.
That was also, like, mind-boggling. Like, I for sure thought quarterbacks were going to go before.
Well, I mean, like, the thing is like, we keep hearing, okay, it's a down year for quarterbacks. It's a down year for quarterbacks. And yes, we know as of right now, coming out of college, yes, that is true. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm so sick of people being like, how can you say it's a down year when they've never even taken a snap? Okay, yeah, I get it. But the early analysis on them coming out of college is that this is a down year for quarterback talent. It just is. That's just a fact. So, not that shocking that a ton of quarterbacks didn't immediately come off the board. I just definitely thought that we wouldn't be the first to take one unless we traded up. And, you know, there's also the rumor in Pittsburgh that Tomlin was on the Malik Willis train until very, very, very recently, and then jumped to Kenny Pickett. So that may be why we felt like there was he was compelled to pick Malik Willis. We were feeling it was trending in that direction, and then all of a sudden veered off track because things recently changed. I don't know if there's any truth to that rumor. I mean, God, the football rumors in Pittsburgh are insane. All of the fake Twitter accounts tweeting breaking news. Honey Badger signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers tomorrow. Okay, sure. The Saints signed him today. So that never happened.
Pound salt. Yeah.
That was also like, you were just like, can you sign somewhere so we can just be done with it?
Shut up about this.
Like, that and the mock drafts, like, stop. Just
the speculation is just exhausting. Yeah, and I think you're right, because, like, there was obviously, like, we've made it pretty clear that we don't do mock draft things, and I think within the first 10 minutes of this episode, we've made it clear how we feel and why we don't do mock drafts. But it was just fascinating, and I was pretty detached from the draft this year because my week was just so hectic. So I was kind of finding out things like for the Steelers only as they were happening. And I really did think that both those guys were going to be gone by pick number 20. Like, I didn't think that there was any team ahead of us that had a glaring need at quarterback that was super interested in either one of those guys. But whenever you texted that they got Kenny Pickett, I was like, wait, what? Is this a joke?
I wish we could share the screenshots because Jordan's reaction was just classic excitement. And Sam and I were just giddy. Like,
I literally was too shocked to react. Yeah, like I was just like, okay.
For days, I felt just a little indifferent, and that's changed. I am now, I feel a level of excitement about it. Yeah. And maybe that's like, we'll see what happens kind of excitement, because I don't know that I'm fully bought into him, you know, as our guy. training camp will give us more of a feel on that. But it's kind of shifted into like a not indifference, but like an excitement about the potential. So
yeah, exactly. And it's all about potential, because whenever a guy gets drafted, especially a quarterback coming into this situation where he's replacing a Hall of Fame franchise quarterback, there's a lot of pressure on him. And I think the reason that I was so excited wasn't because I saw this like bright, shiny future of, oh my God, we found the guy for the next 15 to 20 years. It was like living in Pittsburgh, growing up as a Pitt family.
Right.
Like my grandfather was a professor at Pitt. My dad went to Pitt. Pitt football has been pretty irrelevant for the majority of my life. Like they just have not known how to recruit. They haven't known how to develop. They haven't been very good. So the past couple seasons, as Kenny Pickett developed into a really solid quarterback, like this year, Pitt football was fun to watch for the first time that I can remember. Like it was actually something that I paid attention to and tuned into, and was like, oh my God, Kenny Pickett is really like, he's the real deal, at least at this level. So there was this buzz around him and around the program that wasn't really there before. And then, of course, because Pittsburgh is just so extra, that we were like, but guess, oh my God, can you imagine? Can you imagine, though, if he stayed? And we like all got really attached to this idea here. And then I didn't believe it was going to happen, but I know like my dad would always talk about, they need to get Kenny Pickett, whatever they need to do to get Kenny Pickett, they got to get Kenny Pickett. And I was like, yeah, okay, Dad, whatever. But
now they did.
Like, so when they did. And now it's like, okay, cool. I still am I'm being very realistic about this season. I don't see the Steelers doing anything of super meaningful consequence, but it went from being like, oh my God, how long is this franchise going to need to turn things around, to being like, okay, so we have a veteran in the quarterback room. We have a potential really maybe solid starter. We
have another rookie, and then we have someone who's going to get cut pretty soon.
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph was punching air.
Good.
Especially with that 7th pick. Like, one quarterbacks will just jump to the last pick, which was, Morgan, you're going to have to say the name. I already just know. You guys don't want me to say it.
Chris Oladokun out of South Dakota State. When we picked a second quarterback, we double dipped at 2 positions, y'all. Wide receiver, we all expected. We all expected the double dip at wide receiver. We lost a lot of wide receivers this offseason, but did we expect the double dip at quarterback? No. And you know who sure shit didn't expect it? Mason Rudolph. I would have loved to see his face. The Pittsburgh Steelers select Chris Oladokun, quarterback.
Oh my God, I would pay money for that image.
Me too. Someone's got to have video somewhere.
They said they were going to go into camp with 4 quarterbacks, but obviously after Haskins' death, I was like, I don't really know if they're going to now. No, they are, and I'm sorry, Mason, but maybe try modeling. I have a feeling
he's the odd man out. Yeah,
maybe try modeling.
Abercrombie and Fitch is always hiring.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah,
but I think the position, at least I know I'm most excited about, and probably you guys, because we know that the Steelers draft them very well. It's the wide receiver position.
Hell yeah.
I cannot believe that we got George Pickens.
Me neither.
Crazy.
Me neither. Can we talk before we jump into like how excited we are about this George Pickens pick? It was my favorite pick of this draft. And that's saying a lot because I really, really liked a majority of this draft. I think we did really, really well addressing a lot of needs. My favorite pick, kind of by a landslide, I'll be honest with you. Can we talk about the video of him watching himself get drafted? Jordan, have you seen it?
I have not. This is news to me.
I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to send it to you. You guys talk about George Pickens. I'm sending this to Jordan so we can get her live reaction on the show. So
all right, let's go.
It's kind of like my football bunny account. Like, it's same
Perfect.
ski mask setting, and it's
great.
You're gonna think it's a troll. Like, if I was
really,
a football
it is
player,
a video. It is a video of George Pickens watching himself get drafted. I don't want to tell you about it. I want you to see it. But I'm sending you the video because this just solidified to me that we got our guy. And not only did we get our guy, as Jared said, we got a dog. This dude,
hell yeah.
Just watch it and it tells you everything you need to know. The attitude is so Pittsburgh Steelers. Like,
I can't, oh God, yes.
And I understand, like, I get it. Like, there have been some things crop up in his past as far as behavior stuff, but I'll be honest with you, like, until they step foot in Pittsburgh, until they've put on an NFL uniform, I'm not going to judge them for their actions. I didn't do it with Baker Mayfield, who I wanted to hate so badly for the BS he did in Norman, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do it with George Pickens. He can prove to us, you know, who he is. And I have full faith that he will do that. But
so like, here's the thing though, like without not taking into account the extreme circumstances or situations, everyone's an idiot in college.
Absolutely.
Literally everyone is stupid. We all were idiots. Like, there's no situation where someone had their shit together at 20. Like, dude, you just
I can tell you a story.
Don't.
Most of this is on the football field. Like, he's being competitive, of course. Like, what do you expect? I don't know. He cares about the game.
I sent you the video, Jordan. I want you to watch it. Meanwhile, I'll tell you a story of me being an idiot at Arizona State. I once came home to the police trying to tow my friend's car, and I was very mad about it. I was 21 years old, slightly intoxicated, and I didn't believe that they were real police officers. I thought they were security guards. So we had words. We had words. I did not get arrested, but I should have gotten arrested. So we're all idiots in college.
Yep.
Even me, Angel. Anyway, Jordan.
All right, here we go. I'm going to watch
George Pickens watch himself get drafted. In case y'all haven't seen this, audience, he is quite literally standing 2 feet in front of the television in the most ridiculous outfit you've ever seen. You need to look it up.
What?
We will tweet it from the Yinzhers Twitter account in case you can't find it. But he just stands there in front of the TV nodding like, yep.
In his shorts and his like very form-fitting Nike, like, what the? That is amazing.
I mean, does that not solidify everything? Like, your excitement for him already?
I freaking love that.
Right? It's so hard to describe the video. So if you're listening, please go watch it. I promise you, if you question this man's ability to get on the field and do his job, you won't do it. You won't question it anymore after watching this video. I promise you.
That was epic.
I'm excited about him. He's extremely physical. He's got the attitude. Everyone's saying he's like Hines Ward. I don't want to compare him to Hines Ward. He's going to be different than Hines Ward. If he brings a similar fire, like, that's what we need. We need physicality. We don't have wide receivers on the roster right now who express physical wide receiver abilities whatsoever. I'm excited about his size. I'm excited about his ability to win the 50-50s. I think that he is going to be phenomenal in Pittsburgh. I could not be more excited about this pick. I really couldn't.
That was a huge grab. Huge.
I cannot believe we got him in the second round. Like, especially when you saw, like, the Cardinals trade pick 23.
Yeah.
I was just like, first of all, stupid. But, like, the way that the wide receiver market has been right now, wild. So the fact that we got him in the second round, just insanity. Like,
absolute steal of the entire draft. I'm telling you.
For sure.
Yeah. Then their third round pick.
Yeah.
Marvin Leal.
Defensive lineman out of Texas A&M. I really like this pick because we're so unsure about what Stephon Tuitt is going to do. We don't know if he'll be back. Whatever he decides to do and whatever is best for him is obviously what I want him to do. But we have to prepare. The Steelers have to prepare for potentially playing another season without Stephon Tuitt or never playing with Stephon Tuitt again. And so I really, really like this pick. I know he's a little bit undersized, but I know they'll start him at defensive end with the goal to kind of, help him gain some weight and get bigger as the season approaches and into the season. But I loved this pick. He was projected in the early mocks from last year. He was a projected first round pick. Some inconsistency, but overall, I'm really not worried about that.
No, and they needed to solidify the defensive line because looking at the way that they were just gashed on the ground towards the end of the season, and that wasn't just the defense's fault. There was a lot of issues with the offense just not controlling the ball and clock enough. So there was that, but issue. But I think that grabbing somebody who could really help them out on in that part of the field, good steal in my opinion in the third round.
We have so many guys on that line who are not old, but they're getting up there.
Yeah.
Right.
Cam, Tuitt, Alualu, we don't know what's going to happen with these guys.
And the injuries.
Exactly. The injuries. Every time we mention Tyson Alualu, it has to come back to, he hasn't played a full season. So
there's always a question mark next to his name.
Yeah. Always. And, our run defense is monumentally more efficient when he's in the game, but we have to prepare for life potentially without or beyond these guys. And it's great to get these younger guys in while Cam is still around to really help them develop into who they're going to be as defensive linemen. So I love the pick.
Yeah. That was a great pick. Even based off it, that's kind of the same thing. I was watching it with my dad, and I was like, that kind of tells me that they're preparing, just like you said, in case Stephon Tuitt does not come back this year. And they do have to at least prepare for it. And if he does, then great. But like you said, we don't know.
Yeah. And that's tricky.
It needs to be addressed. Yeah.
Tricky.
The Steelers' next pick, I think I'm almost as excited as I was for George Pickens, just because, again, I was like Calvin Austin, which is a wide receiver from Memphis. See, there I go with my words.
There you go. You got it.
I think 2 for 2.
I'm so great. So great right now, guys. If we put him in the slot, I think that he's going to be so hard to cover. He's so quick. His routes are insane.
So he's an X. So realistically, he fills the void that we were having on this offense, right? And with in the absence of Juju and Ray and James Washington, we have successfully filled the holes in that offense as far as receivers go. This dude runs a 4.32. He was the second fastest receiver in the draft. And the skilled players who have come out of Memphis recently, I'm talking about Tony Pollard, for example. These are high caliber athletes. Yeah. This kid is a burner. And it was the one thing we've been missing since Antonio Brown. We have not had a receiver who's shifty and elusive and fast like that. And he is. And he's also super physical. So it's amazing because the issue with DJ is that he's scared of contact. It's almost like Calvin Austin wants, he looks for the contact. I don't know if y'all have watched a lot of his film, but I literally got glued to YouTube watching film because he's so physical. And it's with his size, it's amazing to see because we've seen the opposite of that in DJ. So I think it's going to be a really, really nice compliment to the entire wide receiver room to have him in there.
For sure. And I think that I think part of Deontay Johnson's issues with the drops is you could probably attribute that to his apprehension to being hit, because he hears those footsteps and he's aware of bodies around him. And then he kind of has a tendency to panic because he's concerned about what's coming next. And when you have a receiver who's like, fuck it, I don't care. He will grab the ball, hold on to it, and brace and push and fight for yardage. And I think that is something that they really need.
We've been missing it. Like, I don't want to compare anyone ever to a previous player on our team, because there are emotional attachments to previous players. So, like, let's not compare rookies to previous players, but we have not had a receiver who has the skill set that Calvin Austin possesses since Antonio Brown. Yeah. And I'm telling you, it makes me excited, because remember how prolific that offense was.
Oh, God. Yeah. Yes. Do I remember?
And Kenny Pickett is not Ben Roethlisberger. That's not what I'm saying. But it's exciting nonetheless. Yeah. No matter who the quarterback is, it's exciting.
Right.
Yeah. It's going to be fun to watch, hopefully.
The next pick is interesting, because I feel like Steelers Nation was really divided on this one, which is interesting. For it being Connor Hayward from Michigan State, like fullback tight end hybrid position. Some people loved it. Some people were like, what the fuck? We don't use a fullback as it is. Like, we hate this. You only picked him because it's Cam's brother. Like, it was kind of all over the place.
I guess we'll see. We'll see, because, that's been everybody's complaint with Derek Watt. Like, why are you paying him so much to not even use him? And I want to give it a minute, because I tend to be critical of offensive coordinators who work for the Steelers. Maybe with a more mobile quarterback, maybe with some more weapons at the receiver position, maybe Matt Canada will do a better job this year, and maybe he will see all of his assets for what they are and actually start to utilize them. I don't know. I don't necessarily expect it, but
you can't.
You can't.
You can't, because of last year. Matt Canada has given us no reason to believe that all of a sudden he's going to open up this prolific playbook that we were not seeing because Ben Roethlisberger was quarterback. Like, we can't expect that. That's what people who defend Matt Canada keep saying.
We have trust issues now. So
I mean, yes, there are severe trust issues there. So people who defend Matt Canada keep saying, oh, well, he couldn't open the playbook because of Ben. And while that may be true, like, okay, we still haven't seen it. So we don't know how he's going to use these two fullbacks we now have. However, I do think they're going to play Connor more in a tight end hybrid position, more so than fullback. I could also see him taking some running back snaps. I'm not going to lie to you. So that'll be interesting. Cool. I keep seeing people want to see Connor against Cam and backs on backers in camp. And I would die. I would love to see that.
So here for that.
Listen, Cam would put him on his ass. I don't think any of us doubt that for a split second. And I think Cam's probably looking forward to that. But I've been saying about the Connor pick, because people are like, oh, we could have gotten him in the 7th, or we could have gotten him undrafted. First of all, you don't know that. Shut the fuck up. You don't know how it was going to play out. But number 2, at the very least, we know that we got a kid who has extremely high character and who's going to work his ass off. And he comes from a family that we trust. We trust the Hayward bloodline, for lack of a better term. Like,
pure football lineage.
I am never going to complain about having a Hayward on our team. Ever.
No. Give us all of them. Every single one. Even Charlotte, we'll take her. Okay. It's fine.
Exactly. They're literally the Starks of the NFL. Yeah. Like, you don't question that. Yeah. Like, come on. And so I'm not upset about that pick at all. I think it was a good one.
And our next pick, Mark Robinson, linebacker, Ole Miss. Obviously, we needed that. We saw last year, it seemed like every week, somebody had an injury. It was mostly groin, and they need a break.
Oh, God.
They need a
all
freaking
the
break.
groin
Like,
injuries.
Yeah, we really struggled.
Couldn't manage the clock. They're exhausted. We need more linebackers. So we filled some depth that I think that we needed. And
facts. And with it, he is a developmental piece, right? Because his first season ever playing linebacker was last year. Okay. So like they moved him from the running back position to play linebacker for the first time last year. But what Terrell Austin and Brian Flores said they really, really liked about Mark Robinson was his ability to pick things up extremely quickly and to adapt. And I think that's what you want in a player who you view as a developmental piece, right? You want someone who's going to be coachable. And I think that's the number one thing they really like about him. Apparently he plays with a ton of fire too. And Steelers never shy away from a player like that. So I like it. It's a depth piece, especially, you know, with all the Devin Bush stuff going on. We didn't pick up the fifth year on him. That's not a surprise to anybody. I think he's going to really elevate his play this year, but that is yet to be seen. So it's another depth piece. It's a developmental piece. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him. But again, I really, really liked this pick.
I liked it.
It's solid. Good for depth. Good for just kind of more options. And I feel like overall this was a really solid draft for kind of what we knew about everything that they needed. And I would have loved to see them address the offensive line a little bit more through the draft, but I guess I'm going to give them some time to see if they pick anybody up along the way. I don't know. It's a little bit concerning that they have yet to
talked
really
about that
do
too.
anything.
Like, do they think that they have all their guys in their position?
Spoiler, you don't.
Right.
That was a little concerning too, but
I think with the O-line, so we did sign a few guys in free agency, and that was great. That's a good move. I think with the O-line, they're kind of walking a fine line of like, okay, it's an extremely young line, and we need to instill confidence in these guys. That and, you know, giving them the time to grow into the role, like especially Kendrick Green, like you just need to see monumental improvement from these guys. So like the Steelers, I think, are walking this fine line between like, we don't want to discourage them from making progress by drafting someone the year after we drafted them to take over their position.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think that played into it just a little bit. We'll see what happens. I think we still have 11 million something in cap space. So
room to work with for sure.
There's room. We'll see.
I don't know.
Are you guys ready for Yinzhers After Hours tonight?
Oh my God, let's do it.
Right. Let's wrap this thing up then, because we are going to go get lost in doing Yinzhers After Hours. And if you guys don't know, it's a Twitter space that we're doing after we record Yinzhers on Monday nights. It's going to start at about, I think, is it 10 p.m. Eastern time, Jordan?
Yeah,
10 p.m.-ish. Yeah, is when we'll start. So yeah, if you guys want to join us in that, we look forward to debating that on Monday nights with you guys. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Usually. All right, let's wrap this thing up. It's been real as always. Thank you to Steeler Nation for joining us.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Yinzhers and Instagram at Yinzhers Official.
And do not forget to subscribe, whether it's on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. We can kick it with you every single week if you do. So we'll see you next Tuesday for another episode of Yinzhers.